It's time for Seriously, Let's Play, a Nerd's Domain actual play podcast. Each week, we'll be sending you part of a one-shot that covers a game on our list that we keep meaning to play and never find time for. Join Matt, the Thompsons, and John Quiet as they give you a small showing of what each system is like, and tell a story that they've put together themselves.
But to go over events of last game, everybody met up at the Wooden Dojo in the city of Danketsu and received a mission from a local spy master to go north to investigate something. Whether it is some sort of new network of spies, nobles who've been captured, nobody's really sure what's going on, but they want you to go and have a look into it.
Yep.
And so, when we last left, your group was going to be departing from Danketsu. Playing Ninja Crusade, part of what happens that makes this game kind of interesting is that travel is handled in a very different way. This is not a straight travel across the countryside, spending the nights along the sides of roads, wondering about who's going to set the guards, that sort of thing. This is not that kind of game. This is a game that is much more cinematic in style. It's closer to this, I guess I would say Seventh Seas and other games like that, where this is more cinematic and more film-like. And so think of travel as a montage.
All right.
Okay. Cue the music.
Montage.
Now, the way that this happens is that there is a series of scenes that will take place. And the way it's described is, they're described in like a general sense. Like a travel is from village to river to forge to mountain to temple. And so it gives me, the ST, ideas of things that happen along a journey, things that are like part of the clip of that montage. And that is where you enter. You as a group will now need to decide who is going to basically take the lead during these different little vignettes. I'm going to describe something that is happening, and you're going to have to tell me how your character would deal with this, how your character would take care of this challenge that might be before you, and then you're going to roll based on it. Usually a skill plus travel.
Okay.
Sure.
Now, based on your outcomes, you might get something good, and you might get something bad. We're going to go ahead and start off, and we're starting with the first test. It is called the Village. So obviously in this montage, everybody is getting their things together in the morning, waking up, doing whatever. And you must go to your homes, quickly gather your supplies, and meet at the edge of town and leave with all haste. So you must select one of you from this group to take this test. Now usually the first test is simple. Who here do you think should be your person to do this first test?
We don't know what the test is.
Basically gathering your equipment up. So let's say, depending on how you describe getting your equipment, it'll be a skill plus travel. So who would like to start off by being the person that anchors this journey?
I can volunteer, partially because I have no travel skill. So the easier the challenge, the better, because I'm not going to be adding anything for travel. But I'm also a very hot-headed person, and I would like to get on the road as quickly as possible because we gotta get this thing going. We gotta get underway. We know the mission. Time is of the essence.
Time is of
going.
the essence.
So how are you going to actually bowl people over as you're running through town, throwing on your clothes, or what are you doing?
So I'm going to pretty much have everything set the night before when I go to sleep, and I'm going to go to each residence of the party members, and I'll knock on the door furtively, but not like loudly or anything. Just very quick. 3 knocks.
Very insistent.
And meet each one of them and tell them to meet me on the edge of town. We're going to get going towards the port so we can get on the ship and get this over with. And so I'll be waiting on the edge of town for everybody else to get their stuff together. If someone needs help getting their stuff together, I guess I can help them, but I will be irritated about it.
Because of how you described that, you're talking about you prepared ahead of time. That shows me that you're using a little bit of intuition. You're like, I'm going to be leaving. Let's get this done. But at the same time, you have really put the emphasis on just getting up and going. So I'm saying speed. So I'm actually going to say that this test is going to be intuition and speed.
Sweet. That is going to give me 4 dice.
There you go.
I have a boost and a 9, and then I've got a 2 and a 4.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So
get going, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
So with his driving force behind you, getting you all up, annoying as it probably was to some extent, you're like, how did he know where I live, and why is he here banging on my door? But with his drive and determination, for the rest of these tests that are coming up, you will now have a single reroll that you can use if you fail. How's that sound?
That sounds pretty good to me.
No complaints.
And you're welcome, everybody else.
Yeah.
Full of
Okay.
yourself much?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for noticing.
My
You're not welcome.
as soon as he found because I didn't go home because I live way up in the mountains, so I went out into the woods to meditate and I probably slept on the forest floor, and so if you barge into Kurayami's peace place, he probably just was
Mumble grumble.
Kurayami also is quite, tends to be the first on the scene, and so and it's a recoiling serpent clan, so he's a little
Disgruntled.
Yeah.
about how old is Saburo?
I'm a young gun.
Yeah,
Kind of like,
so I'm like, this kid,
mid 20s, I would say, at the oldest.
this
a
kid.
to you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, perhaps I didn't sleep the full night or something like that. Maybe I woke up at 3 in the morning or something. I was itching to get going.
June takes his knock at the door all in stride, and she's like, "We're coming. I'm coming. It's not that big a rush. Everything will be okay." And she's making this long, drawn out, like, I must have my carts. I have to go get my carts so we have things to take, just in case we need to sell some things along the way. So she's intentionally dragging it out for herself to piss him off, because that's just the way she is.
And it is 100% working.
But she says it all with a smile on her face, and she's like, "It's no big deal. I mean, we'll be fine."
And that's just 100% working. It's just everything that you're doing is making it worse for me.
Okay, so this would
great.
possibly be a contested, unless you just want to roll with it, this could be a contested test to see if you're able to deceive him and if he's able to see through your deception. Is this where we're going with this, or do you do this blindly look at this?
She's more poking the bear more than anything, just for funsies, because she's just that kind of personality.
Poking the serpent.
Yeah, I'll roll against it. It's fine.
Okay. I would say, because you're like, is she what is she messing with me? I think there's going to be a little bit of intuition and perception. And for for Jun, I would say that perhaps that sounds deception and perform sounds perfect.
I have 1 success.
Okay. What do we got?
I have 2 successes.
2 successes. So, yeah, goodness, she is slow.
Yeah.
She's just so slow.
Yep. That's just, those
She's driving me nuts.
those merchants that just take forever. Got so much stuff. I'm pretty sure I've got all my possessions on my back right now, so.
If Kurayami was already in town and witnessed this, he'd just take that.
David, did you want to add anything on that, or are you good? I was worried about
No,
you.
I think I'm good. I think I'll chime in for the mountain section
Okay.
whenever we get there.
All right. Well, we got a ways to go before we get there, because next up we have the river. As you're traveling beyond the borders of Danketsu, it becomes necessary to hide one's identity and travel, in various ways, just, being safe. Especially, obviously some of y'all are openly carrying weapons. I mean, there is either a question of what you are as far as, are you a common person looking at you, they're going to say, are you a bandit? Are you a ninja? Or are you some sort of spy for the emperor? There's this thing that maybe you're trying not to draw too much attention to yourself. So, as you're traveling cross country and avoiding enemy patrols and bandits, you start to enter into the Iron Province. So, you are going into the Iron Province. This means, guarded borders, patrols of army units, possibly walled areas that have been breached by bandits who have claimed certain areas and are charging tolls for people moving back and forth. So, first and foremost, who is going to be the person to take on this section?
I'm thinking I might like to try because I do have some stealth and to move in between crowds.
So how are you going to get people through here?
That's the problem. I've used to getting myself through, but not a whole group. If I'm looking at my sheet. I mean, I can move them through quickly. I do get +1 speed when moving through crowds. Is this a heavily guarded, crowded area, or is this pretty well empty?
This is an area where weapons of the Empire are developed, and this is a very much contested area of the kingdom. So that there are going to be, of course, the Izzo army, Imperial people around. There are going to be groups of merchants traveling back and forth. It will be possible to find areas where you could try and blend in with the crowd.
Okay.
So how do you want to try and do that?
I mean, I could try to carve a path through by moving quickly, and for the others to follow. I don't know if others would have to do a speed check as well to try and follow in my path.
Can we assist in any way?
Technically, not really.
Okay.
This is one person, because everybody's going to possibly have a chance during this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
So would stealth and speed be a viable option then?
Stealth and speed, that definitely could work.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. I'll give it a go. Why not?
And then would we get the +1
The +1 speed for
the crowds?
Mm-hmm.
2, 4, 5.
I do have a cart, just in case that helps.
Yeah, so we can try to
I
close
have 4 successes, including a boost.
this. Oh, wow.
Nice.
I move quite quickly,
Okay.
but calmly.
Yeah, and the cart we're just bodyguards for the merchant.
Yes, I put on an air that I'm an important person within this Iron Province, and that I must urgently get to the other side of where we're going.
Moving through the crowd, the border of this area where there is a guard post is very busy. And as you're pushing through, it's noticeable that there is members of the Izzo army obviously checking people as they come in, a couple guards on towers. And you're pushing through, and I'm going to say that there is a farmer there
Okay.
that looks over at your group with a certain amount of recognition. A wry smile pops up on his face. He whips one of the oxen going before him, and the entire group basically of his oxen just starts to push through the crowd and bounds over, knocking things over, and making their way through the guard past all the guards and past this little guard post. And he nods to you, and he basically approaches the soldiers, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened." And while all this is going on, and the chaos ensuing, and the guards just not paying enough attention, you manage to sneak by. So this is possibly a future ally that you could track down. Because obviously there was a little something more to him. He recognized you for what you were.
Right.
So somebody to possibly look up next time you come through the area. And now we enter into a dangerous part of this mission. You are now entering into Sensumon. This is a port city. Now, this is considered the forge portion of this journey. This is very much a make it or break it kind of situation. You see, there are Imperial troops landing here at the docks, coming off of the ships and moving through the town, basically on their way to amass outside of it. So this is one of those situations where it is very dangerous and necessary to be very stealthy or find some way of proceeding. So this is that portion of the journey. How are y'all going to do that? Who is going to go ahead and take lead on this portion? Think that these are docks just beyond. You are walking into town. You of course have the multiple businesses. This is definitely a much more active and lively portion of the empire than you probably have seen.
This might be a thing for June with her outgoing, extroverted attitude. Kurayami is not about.
Yeah. Hotels, people standing outside them, barking, trying to get you to come in, merchants all over the place. But at the same time, there are those groups of Izzo, army marching through, coming to, basically just passing through in swaths to gather beyond the edge of town.
That the army is definitely gathering.
Yes.
In the area.
Okay, so I'll try and see what happens here. I've got my cart. I'm dragging it through. Calling out, "Get your wares here! Incense burners, smelling salts," just random things.
Especially on the docks.
As we're going through. Not necessarily stopping, but just, making it a normal...
So hiding in plain sight almost.
Hiding in plain sight. And I'm just going to try to make it look like we're just passing through, but we're not setting down roots. But just to make it help blend through the crowd, I'm going to try to persuade with my travel. Basically blending in with all the other call-outs from the other merchants.
So persuade with travel?
Persuade with travel.
Sounds good.
A lot of people will almost avoid a merchant that's really, it's like, oh, please don't make eye contact, or it's like the sample lady at the store. Don't make eye contact. They won't.
Right at the kiosks at the mall.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
It's too
Now
late.
I've got a 5-minute demonstration about this sharper image product I don't want. You do also get to reroll one die.
If you want to.
Well, you can re-roll your whole hand. It's like a full re-roll if you do not succeed.
Can I just pick certain dice?
It's a full re-roll. How many successes did you get?
I have 2.
Okay.
Is that considered a critical?
That's a 9.
7, 8, 9s are criticals?
No.
Oh, no,
No,
10s
10
are
is
criticals.
critical.
Okay, my bad,
Yeah.
my bad. I misunderstood that earlier.
Yeah. I think I'll keep that.
All right, so that's 2 successes. All right, as you are walking along and performing this, someone in the group, basically a merchant, is just pushing past in the other direction, and your coat brushes open a little bit, revealing your weapon. And the individual cries out, basically pointing at you. And there's a group of guards nearby who also see you. And weapons begin to get drawn. and you find yourself in a fight with members of the Izzo army.
Now, is this her coat
no.
got opened or mine?
Probably mine, realistically.
Yeah, probably
Yes, you're a little bit
mine.
flamboyant,
I
aren't you?
do have a katana just
Yeah.
hanging out.
Can't take you anywhere.
Okay, so there is going to be combat.
Wah, wah, wah.
Great
All
minds
right.
think alike.
So the first thing that is going to happen is we are going to determine initiative.
Okay.
Now, initiative is a static value. It does not change. It's a value for all characters. It determines where you'll act in the round and is sorted from the highest number to the lowest number. And so what we're going to cover, basically getting your initiative, if y'all don't have that down yet. Yes? No?
I do.
I do.
It's isn't it? It's speed plus intuition plus 3.
Yeah, speed, skill, intuition, and plus 3. So who are my 7s?
Hi.
I am
Me.
Me as well.
Oh, goodness.
We
Wow.
got 4 out of 5 7s.
I'm a 6.
6.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
There you go. A little
We know where
variance
you
there.
are.
Yes.
The cart slows me down a bit.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
prefer to go last of the 7s, just in case y'all do get hurt, that I have a chance to heal y'all before the next round.
And I would prefer to go first because I'm just like acting out things later. But if someone else wants to go first, if they want to do something
Now,
else, y'all are welcome
If
to
it's
it.
your character, you go on. I will look at you with grizzled dislike.
And Makoto, what about you?
Yeah, I'm fine with him going first. I'll go after.
All right.
Unless Roxy wants to jump in there second if she's got a reaction to it or something.
Yeah, we'll see how his part of the combat goes, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So the way this works is at the beginning of each round, your player, you will go ahead and you're going to roll what is called a dynamic dice, or your dynamic dice, which, because y'all are all level 1, you should have 3 dynamic dice.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Are we rolling that now all together or just on our turns?
Go ahead and roll it now, and that way when your turn comes up, you'll know how many actions you have.
And that's based on the success system.
Yes,
success
same
system?
success system.
And successes start at 7 or
Uh,
6.
Success will start at
7?
7. Yes,
Ah,
7, 8, 9,
And
10.
boosts don't count here, correct?
Wish it
Criticals
would
do not
start at
count.
6.
Because it's a standard die system, yes, it does.
Oh,
I got a 10, a 2, and a 7. What does that mean? I got 3 extra?
That means that you have 2.
even with
so-
the 10.
Let me go ahead and read this out for y'all, so maybe this will make a little bit more sense.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
At the beginning of each round, each player will roll their dynamic dice. Each success, determined normally, gives them another dynamic action in addition to their actions that they have automatically. A rank 1 ninja, for example, starts with 1 dynamic action and 3 dynamic dice. If they roll 3 successes, they have 4 dynamic actions for the round, which they can spend on a number of awesome effects.
Okay.
In the way that
Critical does not count.
critical does count, that as a normal portion
yeah,
of
it
Just
rolling.
a 1. Or does it count as 2?
It counts as 2.
Oh, go, that's as, then he got 3.
Yes.
Then he
Because
got
he
2,
had a
7,
critical.
and 10.
Okay.
Okay, so yes.
So if you roll a 10, it counts as that you get 2 moves.
Yeah,
Okay.
two additional dynamic actions.
Nice.
Gotcha.
All right. So that is how that portion is done. There's a number of dynamic actions in the book that you can do, but the best way to think of it is, for the most part, think of it as something that your character does. Like, for one of those actions, I'm doing this. For one action, I'm doing this. For one action, I'm doing this. Okay. So looking at everyone's initiative starting, we definitely need to figure in as well weapon qualities, if your weapon will slow down or raise your initiative.
Right, and mine is quick, so I get a +1 to initiative, which gives me an 8.
And I am -2 for Hanami because mine is slow, so I go down to a 5.
All right, and Kurayami, you also
I'm also at a -2 on that, so I'm a 5.
5.
And I am a +1 to make it 7 for my shuriken.
Okay.
For quick.
And Makoto, then, are you using a weapon, or are you doing anything that's going to augment your speed?
Yeah, my weapons give me +1 for quick as well.
Okay. And so, start of the combat at 8, we have Saburo and Makoto. Then we would have Jun. And then we would have Hanami and Kurayama. And then I need the book so I can get my bad guys together. The one that has the sticky notes in it. There you go. Thank you.
Cool.
So a group of guards are going to try and rush in to take you on.
Just because they saw our weapons? Are weapons not allowed in this area? Or are they just tetchy?
It would, if you are not a member of the Imperial Guard and carrying weapons around.
Oh, it marks us as a ninja?
It either marks you as a ninja or a bandit or somebody that should be held. And the guards will also be operating at a 5, but I will let Hanami and Kurayama go first.
Oh, well, thank you.
So, starting it off, though, with initiative, we have Saburo and Makoto. And so Saburo, Makoto, you had already said that you were going to let Saburo go first, right?
Yes, I was also under the assumption that they were coming at us with weapons and he was about to start fighting.
Yeah.
Well, I'd probably like to start fighting anyway.
Okay.
Yep.
So, based on the situation, how many dynamic actions do you have?
So I rolled earlier. I got a 0 and 2 3, so that's a boost of 2, I guess.
Yeah.
And do I add that to my 1 that I already have, or
Mhm.
okay? So I have 3 dynamic actions.
3 dynamic actions. So three actions to some extent of what you can do.
Okay. So I would like to. So the guy brushed past me, opening my robe slightly and revealing my katana on my left side. So I'd like to yell at him, Pako, right? Watch where you're walking, and turn towards the guards, and I want to look at them and see. So how many guys are we talking about here? You said 5?
Let's just say that what you have coming at you is a squad of warriors. So we'll say we'll go ahead and say there are about 4 guys coming at you.
4 guys. Okay. So how far away can I get to them in one turn?
They are at, and this is part of the game. It is distance.
Sure.
They are near.
Okay, so they're near. So they're within about 15 feet, right?
Yeah, they are inside the 15 foot area, so that decides what certain weapons you can use and how you can interact with them. So yes, you could get to them for an action.
Okay. So I think I'm going to look at them and see that they're coming toward us and they want to talk to us, but we really don't need to talk to them. So, I am going to, having just cursed at this guy and called him an idiot, I'm going to fly off the handle and I'm going to start this fight with them because we don't have time for this, essentially. So, with all that in mind, I'm going to draw my katana and slash at one of them, just straight up, no finesse to this at all. So I'm going to use might and fighting.
You can move up to your movement, which is 3 times. Okay, you should be able to go ahead and get to them as a free action.
Okay, excellent.
And that leaves you with 3 actions to actually do something about this.
Okay, so can I attack 3 of them then?
Yeah, we'll start. Each dynamic action is going to be an attack in this situation.
Okay, sure.
So that's what you're trading those in for.
Okay, so
all right.
First dynamic action then. So I get a +1 might when flying off the handle, due to my hot-headed temperament, and I also, because my wildcat fighting style is in effect, if I go first in the round, I get a +2 fighting, and I deal +1 damage on my first attack of the round. Also, a question: does that need to be hand-to-hand since it's a fighting style, or can I use my katana there? If it does need to be hand-to-hand, I can do that. That's fine. I can just punch the first guy and then draw my katana for the next.
technically, I'm going to say that you can actually use the katana on the first one.
Sweet.
Just looking at how applying skills to combos and everything like that works out.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to roll 9 dice. Because I have 4
nice.
fighting, 2 might, get a +1 to might, and a +2 to fighting. So this is the first attack. Can I even hold all these dice?
I don't think you can. Here, do you
Yeah,
want some?
no, I got it.
Oh, show off.
Okay. Wow, with all that, I only got 2 9s as my successes. Yeah, so I got 2 9s as my successes out of all those dice.
2 9s out of successes, plus it should also be +1 because you are using a weapon with the damage.
Yeah, sure.
And so that is 3 points of damage to one of them.
Okay.
And we'll say that one of them is going to go down.
Oh, all right.
Struck down on that first hit.
Well, and now they're coming after us for sure.
Yeah, they are.
So
But if we can
just-
finish this before they do anything, then we can get away. And we can leave that dumb cart behind, too.
Yeah, we could have just stayed calm about all of this and could have gone through.
He still has some pent-up anger about your card.
Okay, so then I'll use fighting and athletics for the next one because I won't get any bonuses to the other stuff for that. So fighting will be 4 and athletics will be 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So next strike. A 9 and a 7.
9 and 7, that is 2 successes again.
Yeah, so then also the so then the katana as well. So 3 damage, or I don't know how that it works exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that, 3 points of damage, and the second one falls down again, struck by your katana across his chest. He kind of hunches over, grabbing it, and falls to the dirt.
All right. And then I am
yeah, we're in trouble.
I'm gonna switch back to fighting and might
We'll
Okay.
just find a
For,
boat and leave them behind.
for this next one because I still get that flying off the handle thing. I would imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is gonna be another 7 die situation. So I got 9, 8, and 8.
9, 8, and 8. So 4 points damage on this one.
All right. So what I
Okay.
do is I walk into this group of guys, and I have my hands out as I'm walking up to them. Sort of no harm, no foul. And then as I'm just right up against them, draw the katana. As I'm drawing it, cut the first one's chest open, stab it into the second guy, whirl around, and slice open the third guy's stomach. And we just got one guy left now.
Yeah, you basically act as the human Ginsu, moving through this crowd of people and up to these soldiers, and instantaneously 3 of them go down. There is one standing there, his eyes beginning to widen. And Makoto, what are you going to do?
I will be focusing on defending and keeping the civilians from getting harmed in the fray.
Okay, and how many actions did you have?
4.
You have 4 actions. Okay. So, we'll go ahead and say you're, let's see, acting defensively in their interest. They'll, of course, be last to act in any way, shape, or form, so we'll see how it goes from there. But after Saburo and Makoto, we have Jun. So, Jun, how are you going to handle this?
I'm assessing the situation and realizing things are going horribly, horribly wrong. And I start picking out things inside of my cart out, and I get a handful of items, extra daggers, shuriken, just in case I need that I can use as a weapon. And I stand my ground for a moment to see where we're at. Saw that he took down 3, and he was like, that's impressive.
good
there
at what I
is
do.
one guard left standing. He has not acted yet. His eyes are widening. I mean, you're in the heat of the moment, seeing all this. Is there anything else you're going to be doing? I mean, you
I'm
grabbing stuff out of the cart. If you want to dedicate all 3 actions to that, I understand.
well.
Or how many actions do you have this round?
I have 2.
You have 2. Okay.
I am basically I'm going to arm myself with what I have to prepare to activate one of my jutsus.
Okay.
If I need to.
All right. So basically, you're holding for
I'm
the
holding
moment.
To
Okay.
see how bad this goes, or if we can
If this
end
guy,
this quickly.
if this guy
and be
calls
done.
out, we could be real screwed. Just saying.
Yeah.
Hanami and Kurayama. Which one of y'all's going to go next?
I'll let you go first, Kurayama, just in case if something goes wrong, then I can try to heal.
For sure. I am going to send Keiko to pounce on the guard
Okay.
and hopefully knock him down and and
All right, take him down?
I'm going to intimidate him to be silent. I'm going to say, we came here, we were just walking through, and we are helping our merchant friend here get to the docks, and your men come at us with swords and staves. I try to intimidate him into to hushing up and letting us go.
Let's go ahead, and because there's also a little bit of lying involved in that, you're going to be using deception and intimidation.
And the sad part is I'm not very good at any of these.
See how the dice roll.
Yeah. Let's see here. Sorry.
Now, before we go too far with this, I will offer up this opportunity as well, because this is a part of how this game works. Sometimes ninja can act in cooperation, and together, the 2 of you, if you so decide, acting on the same initiative round, can basically combine together what you're trying to do. So, one of you can provide one skill with the stats involved, and another person adds their skills with their stats involved.
So what were the 2 stats again that you were combining?
Deception and intimidation, I believe, is what he was.
I am neither of those.
Okay.
I'm really
so I'm just
not
tossing that
either.
out
That's
there as
the
an opportunity in the future. Then remember that this is something that's kind of cool that y'all can do. Is act together in the same way.
Okay.
This is where I get my gift
Uh-huh.
is that I help others to live a good life. I get a +1 persuade to get others to do the right thing. Is there any way that I could persuade him
That the right thing is to
is
leave
the
us
right
alone?
thing is to look the other way, or is that still deception? And
We,
Just
we will.
I know, I'm like,
How
oh,
to complicate things.
Saburo, no.
Saburo.
I am going to make a call on something, and that is okay. So another part of Ninja Crusade is something called karma.
Ah,
I was
Which
about
is
to
why I
ask
did
about
what I
that.
did.
Yeah.
was,
Now, in Ninja Crusade, there is a karma pool, 1 karma for every player. So that is 5 karma every game that we get together and play. So I will say that you can do a little rewrite of this using one of those karmas to see if you can achieve that.
okay.
So yeah, if you
So I can go ahead and use my +1 to persuade.
yes, I will let you go ahead and use your +1 to persuade. That you're bending the rules a little bit using your karma.
Right, and this would be so. Basically, what we're doing here is she would be doing this before I killed these 3 guys, and if it works, then it
Yeah.
rewrites
It rewrites
the
history.
timeline, and,
Yeah.
and I can
Oh,
have
interesting.
not killed those guys. If
That's
this
a
works.
neat. That's a neat.
But if it doesn't work, I'll still kill the 3 guys. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we're just stuck with it. And
I'm down.
I've made a horrible decision because I am not good at any of these things.
Oh.
My +1 to persuade
Does that
Uh-huh.
give
gives
you
me a 1,
1?
Well,
and my
you
dis-
always have 1 dice to roll.
GM teach us to play.
Yeah, well, this
is
is
why
the
we're doing
thing.
this.
My first time to run this, y'all's first
Yeah.
time to play this. This is
Yeah.
why we're doing this series.
And that is a whopping nothing. I did not,
Okay.
So
and I had a critical failure.
Really? A critical failure.
Oh,
Yikes!
Oh,
I'm just
Yeah,
going
I had to
to
try and talk
put
our
that
way out
away
of it.
for a little while. You know?
Kurayami.
I'm just going to put that away for
You're
a
gonna
little
pack
while.
that away?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I'm a gill.
Okay.
I tried
So
to be a good person.
So you yelled, then using your turn, and then I killed the 3 guys, and then we've continued on from there.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
As long as nobody hurt my dog, I'm okay.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing you were going to try to do, right?
Yeah, I was gonna have my dog just barrel him down onto his back and just kind of, because he's a big, he's like a dire dog. He's a big boy, and he just jump on his back, kind of like a la Turner and Hooch. You know, when Hooch just like gets up on him and is like, "Arr," and like bites their necks. That's what I wanted him to do, and just be like, "You will let us."
Pass,
but-
how many actions did you have? Was that just
I
your
had
first
4.
okay.
I'm going to go ahead, and since that failed so badly, I'm not even sure how to really. I mean, I guess I did have a +1 bonus because if my dog was helping me, but it also using the karma pool. It kind of changed how I wanted to use my dog. Now my dog becomes the aggressor and the instigator, so, instead of the guy who just mowed down 3 guys with his katana. But yeah, I'll take my 4 actions, and that kind of backfired on me. So
Okay. So, do you have...
Oh, go ahead.
All right. So what we're going to say happens as well in this scene with that little critical failure. What I'm going to have do as a GM for fun is that I'm guessing your cart, do you pull it or does a horse pull it?
In this case, I'm going to say I pull it.
Okay. When you were turning around to mess with the cart and grabbed your stuff out of it, you didn't properly guess the grade of the ground in this area, and it begins to slide away from you. And
Is it going towards me or away?
it's going away from you, and partially away from the crowd towards what appears to be a blacksmith's stall.
Oh no. Is that towards or away from the docks, the direction that we're going?
Away from the docks. So this is where we're at now, though.
So did I use all my actions?
No. Trying to persuade him was one, and you actually could go ahead and have your dog attack if you have a way for that to happen.
I mean, my dog can do.
I would think that it would probably still be because your dog is a part of you. You're fighting.
I
And
mean,
your
yeah, I
ideas.
mean, it's
gonna
really
be
not-
It's going to be fighting, and
I was actually going to say if I saw that cart start to roll away,
mhm.
I would go after the. I'd be like, oh, I'd be like, I'd go after the cart.
Okay. So you're going to basically spend the rest of your actions trying
I'm going
to
to
slow
disengage
the
and try to
cart.
get the cart.
But the dog is going to come in and attack, right?
And
And help me
yeah,
out.
we can go ahead and have. Keiko can still do his thing.
Okay, so we'll
Okay,
go
go
ahead and
fetch.
say that the dog is going to try to attack him. So we're going to go fighting and might because he's trying to take him down.
Okay. This is a better roll for me. Now, like I said, Clan Pack of the Black Moon, Clan Gift, Entwined Souls. My ninja dog helps out. Gain +1 bonus when they do. So,
Sure.
do I get to add a
Yeah.
die
Go ahead
to
and
my
add the
pool?
die.
So I get my base die, and then
The
you
dog
said
is there for a reason.
you said fight.
Uh-huh.
So that's 4, and then might.
Yep, because he's trying to barrel him over. This is definitely a
So
strength
does this count
feat.
as a grapple? Does the dog have the same stats I do? I take it.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, well then I have might 3 and then in parentheses
Yeah.
grappling.
Oh, so it's a specialization. So
yeah.
get another dice in there.
Can I have one more, please? All right,
Then my dice are-
and then I get a bonus, right, for my dog. So I'll take one
Oh,
more.
you didn't start that? Okay,
No, I had my base 1.
yeah.
Base 1, 3 for might.
Well, you
4.
always have one dice to roll, even if you don't have a stat in it.
But if
But-
you,
but then
Oh,
if
but if you have stats in
Yes,
it, okay.
so that
you
doesn't...
lose that base die.
Okay,
Never
so then we've
mind.
been using
Yeah,
it
we've
correctly.
been doing it
We've been
Yeah.
using it right. Okay. Okay. Come on, Keiko.
Go, go.
Shoot. That one's good. I have 1 success and 1 crit fail.
Well, just one
Does that
failure.
count?
It doesn't count unless you have only failure.
Only the failure.
Yeah, only the
Okay.
failure. So
Sweet.
you still have 1 success.
1 success and 1 failure.
So no, just yeah.
Oh, just 1 success?
Just 1 success.
It cancels out the
yeah.
failure?
The failures don't count.
Oh, okay.
Unless you have only failures,
Yeah.
and critical failures don't count.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. My mistake.
Yep.
I'm learning, ladies and gentlemen, I'm learning.
It's a different system.
It's a very different system, yes.
So what you're going to be doing is the dog is going to knock him over. They are now engaged in a grapple.
Okay.
Okay? And you're going to spend the rest of your action. You notice this cart is running away. So you are running after it. That's one dynamic action. And you had one last dynamic action. I'm guessing you're trying to grab it to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and go Athletics Might.
That's a little better. That's 2 successes.
All right, good. I will say that's enough for a moderate success, and that is what the test would be. So
Fantastic.
that can
Okay.
take up your action.
There we go.
All right, so after you, Kurayama, we have Hanami. Correct? Am I?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. But since no one has gotten injured since somebody decided to take out 3 guys at once.
I guess you could heal the
And-
bad
Huh?
Because you could heal the bad guys, but...
Well, there is one, so I do have a trigger to be obsessed with helping the injured despite danger to yourself.
Okay.
But,
I don't know that this is the place to test that.
yes, I know. So I almost feel like as the healer, I need to take out the guy. He's knocked prone by
Mhm.
Keiko.
Yes.
Do the triggers automatically happen in situations like
Yeah,
that?
that's
No,
one
there's
question.
stuff that you can
No.
do
You can
just
to gain karma, which,
Yeah.
which is why I did what I did, because my thing is starting a fight that it would be better for you to walk away from. Yeah, that
Mhm.
should add 1 to the karma pool.
Yes. Mhm.
So we're still at
So we're back at
Yeah.
5.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have to take this guy down,
Okay.
although it's anti my more healing properties.
You could do it in a more non-lethal way if you want.
Yeah.
True.
And that'd be one way of preventing harm to coming from him, or coming to him.
I
Would
do
be to do
have-
it non-lethal.
I do have one question.
Yes.
I just noticed that also when on the clan trigger for my Pack of the Black Moon,
Mm-hmm.
Primal View gain 1 karma when they forego etiquette to the group's detriment.
Okay.
Would having my dog leap on a guy, even after he's attacked 3 of them, be foregoing etiquette
I
to the
don't-
group's detriment?
no,
Okay,
not at this
just
point,
making
no.
sure. Just making sure. Got it.
Keeping me on my toes, huh?
Somebody's got to.
I guess I do need some help brainstorming what would be a non-lethal.
You can,
What,
like, so if he's
to-
on the ground, you can walk up and punch him in the face hard enough to knock him out. Try and do that.
You know, that might be some. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see. I don't know if I would pull out my Kusarigama since it is a longer range. I feel like that would be overkill for her. So I think I'd like to do something to at least keep him down there for a while and not yell about our position to others.
Okay.
So for that, I have fighting.
Fighting, and
I have no might.
you do athletics or...
Yeah, would fighting
Yeah.
and athletics.
Fighting and athletics would be fine.
Okay,
Uh,
so that'd be 2 and 4, and I do not get a bonus from anything, only if I use my weapon. So it'd be 4 dice then. All right, here goes nothing, or hopefully something.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. How about all failures, including a critical fail? Yeah,
We are on a roll tonight.
not on a roll.
and how many dynamic actions do you have?
I have 2.
So you can do one more thing, but just give me 1 second here.
Yes.
Okay, so you failed on this, and that was an athletics and a fighting roll.
Yes, it was.
So basically, as your outcome from the critical failure, you will, in this case, be unable to attack him again until a situation changes. You just find that the dog is too much in your way, and you cannot land a blow.
Okay.
All right. At the same time, we need to be adding a little bit of karma to the karma pool. I forgot about this part. The people who have had critical failures, go ahead and roll a d10.
Just one?
Just one d10.
Hopefully it's good enough.
What did y'all roll?
I have a 6.
You have 6. You have a 1. So go ahead and add. We now have a 7 plus 7 to the karma pool that y'all can use.
Oh.
Now from here on.
Okay.
Yeah. So from here on out, though, you will only garnish for every additional critical failure you have. You'll only garnish 1 more point. But the first time that you roll the critical failure, this is what happens.
Okay.
Okay, it basically, karma will balance out, is the idea.
Right. So you failed now, but you have more karma, so you can reroll. And what else can we do with karma? Just we can reroll stuff. We can.
So you can get bonus dice, and then there are the dramatic rewrites. Change something in the scene to fit your needs in the heat of the moment. This actually costs 2 karma when you do that. And so if the rewrite alters the scene to a greater degree, then the GM can call for up to 4 karma instead. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Part of me wants to re-roll that whiff of the punch, but that's already done. Yeah.
But that's how that one is going to go. Now, you could, as we've now pointed out with karma, you could change that to where you could make your next attack. For 2 karma, you could go ahead and rewrite that and make your next attack. That it's not impossible to strike him.
Maybe you call Keiko off.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking about that. Maybe I do some sort of strength or something to see if I can get the dog off of this guy for me to try and get at him.
Well, that would be like 2 separate actions, because getting the dog off and then the attack.
Then doing the attack.
So basically all you're saying is for 2 karma, you could say a moment opens up for you to strike. You see your moment, you grab it.
Right, and you said we have 7 karma in the. I just don't want to take up.
You have 5.
We're down to 5.
Well, you had 5, and then you added 7.
So we're up to 12.
Yes.
Okay. Well, since it's the group pool, if it would be worth it for me to do the 2. Okay, then I would love to try and punch this guy.
Okay, there we go.
That is our karma.
And may I make the same check with the athletics and fighting? With the 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Please be better this time.
Yep, I have 2 9s, so 2 successes out of the 4.
Awesome.
Okay. So that is 3 successes. That's... Yeah, you have 2 hits with this one.
2 hits.
And when the dog bowled him over, that is a grappling test, which is also a point of damage on him. So that's 3 altogether that has been done to this guy, and he is out cold.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right.
I just kind of gently whisper in his ear, like, sorry, guy, but I can't let you talk about us.
Now, the crowd is obviously going to respond to all this. People are going to start running in every direction. There's shouts and calls and everything else that are going to be taking place. How are y'all going to be dealing with this?
Okay, first things first, can I make a knowledge check and maybe intuition to learn if there is some sort of like bandit leader in the area that I can like shout his name and say like all hail this person, so it kind of takes some heat off of the ninja and people maybe don't think we are ninjas because we haven't done anything like super crazy.
Yeah, y'all haven't used any of your chi,
right?
So and that usually would really mark you as a
right.
ninja.
Absolutely. So can I just make that test to see if I can think of anybody who I
yeah,
might
absolutely,
attribute this to?
absolutely.
Okay. That is a boost and an 8 and a 4.
Okay.
I have 2 intuition, 1 knowledge. So.
All right, so let's go ahead and say that, a name comes to mind. And there is a local bandit in the area known as Masaki.
Okay.
And has been just a general nuisance to everyone in this town. Sometimes stopping merchants moving through and demanding them pay to get, for safe passage.
Sure. Okay, so then I'm just going to shout as loud as I can, "All hail Masaki, the Bandit King," and that's. I'm just gonna shout that, and then I'm gonna turn to everybody else and say, "Go, we gotta go."
Keiko, heal.
Okay. So at this point, it's definitely going to be stealthily or trying to make your way through.
Right.
And y'all definitely overcame this situation, which is it's a part of even all this, even how big this scene is. This is still a part of the travel montage.
Right.
So this didn't really stop anything.
Yeah.
But so y'all are going to be stealthily making your way to a boat or something else. How are y'all going to do this?
So are we
Go
gonna-
ahead and describe this out.
Are we going to hire a boat, or are we going to? Are we going to acquire?
Oh, that's up to you.
Are we going to borrow a boat?
Well, it depends on how we can find someone to hire that we would trust.
Yeah.
that would
Is
not
there a
turn
dock
us
master?
There is, but like I said, remember this is a montage moment. You have succeeded in this portion of the journey. Describe what your characters would do to get out of this situation and get away from here.
So I think we'd get into alleyways. We'd stick to shadows. What time of day is it about? Do you think,
It's
for
probably
this?
midday. I mean, sun's probably pretty high up in the
Sure.
air.
Okay, so yeah, alleyways are going to be our friend. Yeah.
And you said the people are just running out in all different directions, so it's
Yeah,
kind of mass
they would
confusion, right?
Yeah, definitely mass confusion. It's not impossible to get away.
As we're going through the alleyways and whatnot, I'm flipping the tarps on the cart to different, so it looks like a different cart, kind
Ah.
of changing things a little bit.
Smart.
Okay.
Changing out my cloak as we're skittling through.
Yeah, I'd also like to flip my coat inside out and go from the crimson side to the mottled blue-black side.
Okay. So you're basically disguising yourself in your cart, making your way away.
Mm-hmm.
You travel through the shadows, through these alleyways, crisscrossing. You hear the sounds of, armor and footsteps moving away from you on some of the streets. That loud sound of people moving as one unit. And for the moment you are safe. And up ahead looms the docks. Several flatboats, a few fisher boats, and things like that are there. It's a very busy port, and so you've managed to make it there at this point. So how are y'all going to proceed from here? Are you going to, you've said stealing a boat is possible, or just, hiring someone? Which one is it going to be?
Mako, you are better at talking to folks, aren't you?
I like to think I'm a friendly guy.
I would suggest that we let him see if he can't finagle us a boat, and not draw any more attention to ourselves by stealing a boat that might not be worthy of a journey as far as we need to go.
Sure.
True. Yeah, I'm fine electing Mako as our persuasive spokesperson to get us
Okay.
out of here.
You've already seen how I deal with problems.
Not very well.
Let's avoid that.
Very,
Very
very
much so.
efficiently.
Not very well.
So, Mako, how are you going to secure the boat?
Okay, so I'll be looking for people who have boats that would be able to be for hire.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess possibly using, either knowledge or intuition to locate the best person to try to get a boat from, and then persuading them to let us borrow the boat or to rent the boat to us. Do we have funds as a group?
Yes.
And June's a merchant, so she's got
Yeah.
access to cash if we really need it.
Excellent.
Okay, so excellent. Yeah, then I'll be looking for the best person that looks like they would be amenable to renting us their vehicle or letting us pay them to use it to get across to where we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You do find you have a choice at this point. There is a merchant that could help you to get across, and there are also fishermen that basically they would be able to ferry you as well for a fee. But the one problem that does come up is it becomes evident that your cart likely will need to stay here.
Cart's replaceable. She'll just take the things out of it that she needs.
We could also sell it if you want to take the time to do that.
No need.
You can come to an agreement with the merchant.
She would do a trade with the merchant, possibly.
Here you go.
The cart for passage, maybe?
Cart for passage, and also, if he's interested in the goods, he's like, he'll look into that. And, if you come back through this way, talk to him, and he'll see what else he can do for you.
Now, Mako, how's your intuition? I know we mentioned about how we could do assists if needed. I was just curious.
Yeah, I've got a 2 in intuition.
Okay, same.
Well, remember, like I said, this portion of the journey is past. You have, as in past, as in PASSED. You have succeeded.
So we're just going through. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
We're
right.
just
I'm
getting out.
still in that
creating,
mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're creating the narrative of what's taking place. It doesn't really require, the dice roll at this point that much.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right.
So now we are moving on to the final one. Almost the final one. This
The
is
not final one.
well. There's the mountain, and then there's the temple, which is arriving at where you're going.
Okay, so this might be
So the
called the
mountain.
penultimate
Yes.
scene in the montage.
So
Nice
as
word.
you're traveling and making your way across this bay, you can see land in the distance, and it's dark. But there are bonfires and markings along the beach. You can see where it's possible that troops are moving or other things. I mean, this is you're coming in really close to the city here, which is Higando. Yes.
Higando. Okay.
So you're coming in really close to that area before you start moving north along the land.
Did we avoid all troops on the waters? Did we see any troops on the waters?
Yes, you managed to make it this far. This is now the next section of the test. So how are you going to get to land? What is your who is going to handle this situation? Let's start there.
So then, this being the mountain part, right, where we
Yes, it
are
definitely is.
trying to avoid. Okay, so then that falls to like a survival and travel type deal.
It can, but it depends on you and how you wish to handle this situation. Basically, do you want to abandon ship and make way for the shore, trying to not draw attention to yourself? Or are you going to try and wait till day and hope that you can find some place where you can get in? How are you going to come into
Does
this
the
district?
fishing ship have a small boat that someone can take our group from the ship to land on?
From this merchant ship?
Oh, I'm sorry, merchant ship, yeah.
Yeah. I would say you want to spend some karma on that?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, we have plenty.
Yeah.
So yeah, spend 2 karma.
So we're at 8, right?
Yeah, because I used 2
Yep.
Right.
for punching that guy out.
Good call.
Okay, so yes, he does have a small boat that he can use, or that he can sell you for part of the agreement between himself and Jun.
Even better. Then what I would say is that we will take the small boat and leave the ship not going into dock or anything like that. We'll row out from the ship into a more wooded, unpopulated area, not like into the docks and stuff.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and say travel survival might be possible, or travel knowledge or intuition.
Yeah, the survival is what I was looking for there. So travel survival.
Excellent, yes.
All right, excellent. And since we're going into some area that I've never been into before, that gives me a bonus for travel.
Nice.
Nice, yeah.
All right, so that gives me a total of 5 dice.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I've got a 5, a 10, a 1, a 7, and a 10.
Wow,
tens.
nice. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we're at what is that?
So that's
5
what,
successes?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
Nice roll.
So yes, you have successfully led the group onto land, completely past any guards or troops.
Yay.
So now I want to
Yay.
And so the final leg of the journey is the arrival. You have made your way quickly, through, past the Imperial troops, through a fight, and succeeding stealthily to getting onto a boat and getting away. You've made your way now into this section of the world, which is the Cradle of Life province. You, of course, as you're traveling through this last leg, you see areas where there's just no growth. I mean, there are dead trees sticking up through the ground. There is sand and dirt and muck and mire. And then ever so often in the distance, you also see, rice paddies and pools and areas where this place is still green and plentiful. But that is not where your journey is taking you. Your final leg of the journey is taking you further north over to the lake that we discussed before. And right along that lake is the small, tiny village. How are you going to make your way in there? What is your goal at this point? Because this last little bit is going to be up to your characters. So, Kurayami.
I will go ahead, and Keiko and I will scout ahead, and we are looking for the village, the area. Noboribetsu? Noboribetsu, my mistake. But I am also keeping a keen eye out for anything that may point to a remnant presence of my clan. If possible, I would like to use my Way of Twin Beasts jutsu and do my linked souls, which means I can share senses with my dog up to a mile. So he and I go into the...
There's no risk in this situation, so I'm not going to make you do the activation roll for the jutsu at this point. Because really it's just a matter of taking the time. This is not something that I would consider otherwise. But because of how you've described that and the way that this is going, because you're both searching and looking and dealing with the wilds, I'm going to say it's perception survival.
Okay. Perception survival. You'd think it'd be more. But of course it's not.
I would also like to activate my danger sense.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get through this portion of the journey first, and then I can deal with that as well.
I do have a question for you. Again, in Entwined Souls, my ninja dog helps out, and I gain a +1 bonus when they do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does this also supplement this as well? I mean, it doesn't say that it's only for fighting or anything.
No. That, based on the write-up, it makes sense.
Okay.
Nope.
That's a critical failure.
Oh, jeez.
Man, I'm having a rough night.
Having a rough
night, which means using my jutsu, if we are using that backfire is a wild mind, I get a -1 cumulative penalty on initiative and jutsu activation.
All right.
So
well, we'll take that into effect in the future.
Okay.
But go ahead and spend 4 karma.
4 karma?
4 karma.
Okay, so we're at 4.
To go ahead and make your way into Noboribetsu.
Okay.
Now, David, you had wanted to activate your senses. What were you looking for?
Well, that's one of my jutsus. The danger sense. It just makes us hyper aware of surroundings for the scene and immune to surprise attacks, and an initiative bonus for the first round of combat.
Okay.
I'm just doing that so if there was a chance of us being ambushed or something like that, then it'd have be prepared for it.
Yeah. I'm going to say that as you're traveling, a thick fog lays over the area. It becomes very disconcerting, very hard to hear anything. And you're moving, trying to guide the group through, relying on both your senses and the dog senses, because at this point it's so hard. It's very difficult to make out anything of where you are. And as you are traversing, Mako reaches forward and grabs your shoulder before you take another step and points off to the side of you. And in the distance, you see just the faintest outline of several kind of huts and buildings with a little bit of torchlight coming through on one of them somewhere. I mean, it's very hard to make out, but you know that you are maybe about 50 yards away from these structures that you had been unable to see in the fog up until now. And he motions that everybody back up and, basically take up better positions. And we're going to go ahead and pause it here for this episode. I want to thank everybody so much, and when you come back, we will be investigating the city of Noboribetsu and trying to see what exactly is happening.
And that will do it for us tonight on Seriously, Let's Play. Remember, you can email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com, find us at facebook.com/nerdsdomain, and twitter.com/nerdsdomain. We have all of our podcasts over at nerdsdom.com, so don't forget to check those out and sign up for our newsletter while you're there. You can head over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating, and don't forget you can always support us at patreon.com/nerdsdomain, and check out our t-shirts at teepublic.com.